Hey Scrappers, it's Vanessa here with another Scrapbook process video, and today we are going to create a layout using this color palette that you see to the side. And I pulled just to start a white piece of cardstock and this stencil, which was from the Hip Kit, and I believe it was created by Paige Evans for the Hip Kit. And I'm going to use that to start here and create my background or give a little bit of interest to this white cardstock. I'm also using a Magicals and some Tim Holtz texture paste, which is actually getting really old and dried up, so I really need to get it used up because it was quite hard to work with this. I had to really work the texture paste in order to combine the color, and what I'm doing is I've added that Magicals, and at first, looking at the cap of it, I thought it was going to match my color palette pretty well, but once I mixed it up, it was too pink, and so you're going to see me here for a few minutes play around with some different patterns or different powders from Lindy's Stamp Gang, as well as some different mists. I'm going to put quite a few different combinations in here until I feel like I get a more peachy pink color that matches that color palette that you see. And so, yeah, it definitely takes me a little bit of mixing some different products together before I'm really happy with the ultimate color that I get in the end. And then I'm going to use, obviously, that stencil and put the color through that stencil. When I get it all done, I will tell you, as you see me sort of mixing up different colors into this, I don't love the stencil, and as with most mixed media, the good thing is most of it gets covered up. I'm okay with it. It's not my favorite. I love the end result of this layout, but I don't know that I love this texture paste through the stencil. I think the stencil is more one that I would maybe spray mist through and just get the pattern on a background. I don't know that I love it with texture paste through it. But it's okay. I like how the eventually end layout comes out. And while you watch me sort of create the little places where I'm going to put this texture paste, I did want to sort of apologize. I have noticed, and I've mentioned it on maybe one or two of my videos lately, I am actually having a really hard time with the voiceovers and the sound happening on my videos. I don't know if it is my mic going bad or what is actually happening. I've been trying to fix it, so if you've been watching my videos and my voice goes in and out or it gets really loud for a second and then goes back down, I really apologize. And if you've stuck with me through that and actually watched the videos through, I applaud you. I didn't realize it was happening until I listened back to one or two videos, and I realized that something is going on with my audio. I don't know what it is, so I just wanted to let you know I am working through it, but bear with me because I still haven't figured out. I thought I had it at first, and then I listened to one back, and I realized that it wasn't, and as much as I would love, once I figure out the issue, to go back and re-voice over some of the ones that I've already done, it takes a while to do a voiceover and get everything processed, and unfortunately, I'm not going to have the time to go back and re-voice over some of the ones that I've seen that have this problem. So I do apologize. That could be a problem for a bit until I figure out exactly what the problem is. So that being said, hopefully this one's a bit better. I'm trying something different, so we will see. I'm going to listen to it after I'm finished and see if it's helped at all. So as you saw, I have that mixed media down on my layout, and I have put it off to the side to dry. I did take my palette knife and clean up some of the edges of the texture paste where it kind of was just like little speckles and pieces. So if you do it right away and it doesn't dry, you can often scrape it up with a little bit of your edge of your palette knife, which kind of helps if you need to fix something on your texture paste before, when you finish putting it on your layout. And while that is drying, I've now just taken these pattern papers that I pulled from my stash. And this one here with the rainbows is from the All Heart collection. I have, I think, an Elle Studio there with the blue, and then the other one I want to say is from maybe an old Jen Hatfield paper pad. I think. I could be wrong. I cannot honestly remember. And I'm just going to layer these up. I tore the edges, and I was doing it on this mat, which is slippery to begin with, and holding the paper down with that ruler just was all over the place. But I was going for a torn, sort of worn edge anyway, and basically all I'm doing for this one with my pattern papers is I just want to have sort of a worn or like the torn edge, and I'm just going to layer these 3 pattern papers up on the right side of the layout, and that's really the main pattern paper pieces that are going to go on this layout. So there you see I now have my 3 layers of papers all pulled together, and I'm going to mat my photo here on a piece of that blue. I didn't pull in any other pattern papers. I strictly was just going with those, so I just matted it with the blue that I had a large enough piece to mat my photo. Here I'm going to layer up those strips of paper, like I said, to the right of my page. My mixed media has dried, and so I did add the splatters. So I don't love the mixed media on this one, but again, I love the end result of the layout. So it's definitely, I would say that I could have lived without the texture paste or done it with a different stencil, and I probably would have loved it a bit more. But overall, like I said, I do really love how this layout in general came together. I have a piece of pattern paper that's just some like blue triangles from a paper pad. I'm going to use that as the mat to put that white cardstock on to again frame my layout. I have some Project Life cards that I'm just layering up behind my photo as well, just to add some additional interest behind my photo, and because below my photo and there on top of my photo I'm going to have some embellishment clusters, and so I just wanted to add a bit more behind my photo so it stood out on the layout. And here I'm just taking all the bits and pieces that I've pulled. These all are just stash items that I grabbed and pulled based on the colors from the mood board, and I'm just going to build up my clusters. I have everything from some die cuts and ephemera pieces to some, I don't think it's acrylic, it's like a plastic, and I have some vellum, so some different textures. I have some flair, some really old flair. I have some stickers. I have some of those little florals are actually from a Paige Evans pattern paper that had all the florals from one of her past collections. I don't remember which one, but I cut out those florals, and I'm going to dot those around the layout. I figure this photo has both my son and my daughter in it, and I'm going to put some florals in it. And it's also taken at Disney, so I can put florals on everything. I have some puffy stickers too that I'm also going to put in my clusters. I went ahead and the base of my clusters were pretty much done, so I did glue down everything off camera so that nothing would move around as I put the finishing touches, which, like I said, are going to be these florals that I fussy cut from that Paige Evans paper, as well as the puffy stickers that you see there that you're going to see in a second. I'm going to dot some of those around. And that is pretty much how my layout is going to look for this one. And so I really adore how this page came together. It is, I think it's just really fun. I love this picture of my kids. We were on the People Mover at Disney, and they were getting along, which doesn't always happen. And they were just having fun, and my son was being all silly and goofy. My husband and I were sitting on the other side, and my daughter was getting a kick out of whatever he was doing or saying or whatever it was, and I just snapped this photo, and I've actually scrapped it more than once. I have one that I have in like the actual travel or like the trip album that I have for this one, and then I have I'm going to put this one sort of in just our like family album of just fun pictures of us as a family, whether it's on vacation or wherever. And I can't help but smile every single time I see this photo because they're just adorable in it and they're just having fun. And it's always nice to be able to scrap these pictures where the two of them are getting along and we're enjoying being together and spending time together, especially because now with teenagers and things like that, they don't spend a ton of time together. So it's nice when I can capture these moments where they do. So like I said, I put in some of those little puffy hearts and some other stickers around the layout, added some cameras in each of my clusters, and I'm kind of just sitting here looking at it and thinking if there's anything else I wanted to put in those embellishment clusters, but I decided that those are good and it was time to work on my title. And I'm using this very, very old sticker set. It's flat stickers. They're in 2 shades of blue, and I want to say they might be like We Are Memory Keepers or something. They're old, I mean super old, but they're glittery and they work perfectly for the colors for this layout. And I'm going to go ahead and write the first part of my title, which is adorable, and then I'm going to pull out another set of stickers to write the rest of my title. And I'm kind of playing, because it's kind of a playful, fun photo, I'm mixing up the font to be both upper and lowercase, and so I thought that was kind of fun. And here are the other stickers that I'm going to bring in, or these are actually not stickers, they're I think from HipKit, and I'm spelling out the word Goofballs because, well, that's basically what they were. They were my adorable goofballs in this picture, and so that's what the title of this one's going to be. I will definitely say, I had to Frankenstein or put together an S from, I want to say it was like an ampersand or something like that from this set of stickers because I didn't have any more S's left, but I think it turned out, I don't know, unless I told you, I don't know that you wouldn't have thought that it was an S to begin with. I'm going to audition a couple of different places for my title, but ultimately it is going to, and I'm sorry that I moved my layout, but there I noticed and I actually moved it back. I'm going to actually end up with my title up there to that top cluster. And once I get that down, that will be pretty much what finishes this layout off. I will say that if you are a lover of more is more, which I definitely am, this would qualify as one of those more is more layouts because those embellishment clusters are pretty, it's not minimal, like it's pretty heavily embellished. So this is a heavy layout with the texture paste and then all the embellishing. It turned out to be a super heavy layout. The last thing that you saw me add there were the enamel dots, and I'm bringing in the colors that I used for this layout. And with that, guys, that is going to complete this layout. So here are the still photos, and guys, I will leave you with these pictures and catch you on the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.